you doing, guys and gals? This is Doug Wilson from Yellow Hawk Customs Outdoors. So, I want to start doing some more outdoors stuff. As you all know, I'm not a spring, summer kind of guy. Don't like to go outside and backpack and camp and bushcraft in the spring and summer. It's just not something that I find challenging in that season. I like to do it in fall and winter. I've been that way all my life pretty much. When I was in the military, I was on a mountain team, so we spent a lot of time training in the mountains, you know. So here's what I want to do for this video here. I want to start showing you some backpacking gear that I use. And like I say, my gear spans between backpacking and camping and bushcrafting. I use it all for the same thing, okay? When I was in high school, when I really started getting into backpacking, I didn't have a lot of money. So, you know, I bought what I could with the money that I had. And it was decent equipment. But as I got older, I spent more and more time and fell more and more in love with the outdoors. I started buying really nice gear because I spent a lot of time out there. I tell you, there was one portion of my life when I was out in the field for a couple of weeks at a time. I would come back in, right? Spend the weekend with the family and go right back out again for another couple weeks, a month, or whatever, right? Since I started buckling down with the company, I don't have a whole lot of time out there anymore. So the time that I do have, I cherish out there. It's important to me still, even more important, because I can't do it all the time now. But it's still a fall and winter endeavor for me. The totality of my knowledge is fall and winter camping, backpacking, bushcrafting, whatever. So I want to start with sleeping bags. It's one of the most important pieces of gear that you can carry out into the field with you. Especially in the winter, because if you don't have the right sleeping bag in a winter situation, you know what? Just point blank, you're in trouble. All right? So I'm going to start with my warmest weather sleeping bag, which is actually a 15-degree bag. This is a 15-degree. It's called the REI Lumen Plus. Right? Here's the bag, and notice how wide this thing is. Okay, it's zipped up. Okay. Look how wide that shoulder girth is. Now this is a modified mummy bag. And for winter pursuits, you really want mummy sleeping bags. Either modified mummies or full mummy sleeping bags. Because what that does is it reduces the amount of air that you need to heat inside that sleeping bag with your body. So, if you're using a rectangular bag, you know, your old Boy Scout bag that you had back in 1980, you know, or 1990, it's not going to cut you in a winter camping situation if it's, you know, 20 or 30 degrees out. Mummy bags are by far your most efficient bags for, you know, retaining heat. And that's important in the winter. You want to maintain a proper core body temperature so that you're not like dipping into hypothermia. We'll get into that one day too, right? So anyway, this is the Lumen Plus. Okay, I think the Lumen is like a 40-degree bag. This is the Lumen Plus, which is 15 to 20 degrees. Okay, now I had this in 30-degree weather. Actually, no. 25-degree weather, and I was fine. I was absolutely perfect. I love this bag. And what I really like about it is I can get my fat ass in there, right? And zipper it all the way up and not feel like I'm in a coffin, right? Because I have a little bit of claustrophobia. I'll get into that with the other two bags. So this is the REI Lumen Plus. It's a modified mummy bag with a full-length zipper with a draft tube behind it. And the draft tube is this portion behind the zipper right here, this draft tube. It runs the length of the zipper and keeps air from coming in, right? It's also got taping behind the zipper that gives it a little stiffness so that you can zipper it up without it snagging on anything. But you'll find that they only kind of work partially. You really got to be careful when you're zipping these things up. I stick my finger in first and then zipper it up toward my finger. Okay? The shell is all nylon. The fill of this bag is synthetic. It's I don't know the name of it. You know, companies have gotten away from naming insulations pretty much. It's a polyester synthetic fill that's like really warm. You know, like Thinsulate or Hollow Fill or Qualifill or, you know, something like that, right? So there's the bag, right? Real warm. Weighs about, I don't know, 3 pounds, 6 ounces. Now, for a 20-degree bag, I think that's a little heavy. But I love the bag, and I'm willing to huff that extra 6 or 7 ounces because it's nice and wide, and I can get in it and zipper it all the way up. I like that. All right, that's the first bag, okay? So there it is. I'll give it to you again, show it to you again. I can't get the whole thing in there, even though it's a fisheye lens. But that thing's pretty wide. It's got a collar, right? It's got a draft collar inside, a small draft collar, and it's got, I'll show you this right here. This is a flat tape and a round tape. It controls the top and the bottom of the hood so that you can cinch that thing up around your face. I never do that. I would go crazy if I had that, if I was that tight in there. But that allows you to feel for it in the dark, and you know which one you're pulling. You know, to me, it's like, you know, that's a nothing feature because, like, as soon as you start pulling on it, you know where you're pulling. You can feel it, right? So anyway, there it is. Like I say, these mummy bags have hoods on them. There's the hood. Your head goes in here. I put a pillow, you know, I make a pillow out of a stuffed sack, stick it in here. I sleep well in the bush, okay? I do. So there's that bag, right? So I'm going to sit it aside. That's the REI Lumen Plus. It'll take me, and I'm a fairly moderately warm sleeper. You know, some people sleep cold in the bush. Some people sleep warm. And sleeping bags, they're different for everybody. I might be able to get away with a 20-degree bag in 10-degree weather. Somebody else might be freezing in that bag in 10-degree weather. It all depends on who you are, how you sleep, what you eat before you go to bed, what you're eating while you're out there, whether you drink a hot beverage before you go to bed or whatever, okay, before you climb into. The one tip I can give everybody right now is never go to sleep cold. You're going to have a hard time getting warm if you're already cold and you get inside that sleeping bag. So warm up before you get in and you'll be better off. All right, next bag. This is the next warmest bag. Now, the next two bags that I have are going to be down. This is 750 fill power down. And basically, the higher you go, the warmer the bag, the less the weight. Basically, right? So I'm not going to get real technical with this stuff. Some of these guys can spout specs of fill power, how many ounces it takes to do this and that. I just want a warm bag, right? All right. Now this one, okay, is made by a company called Western Mountaineering. And I'll tell you right now, this is about a $700 bag. Very expensive, very lightweight. They say every pound you take off, you can spend another $100, right? So if you got something that weighs an ounce, you're going to pay $6,000 for it. It's not that bad. All right. So anyway, luckily, you can get these bags on eBay if you know what you're buying, right? I bought this one on eBay for $300. If you know what you're buying and you're able to text back and forth with the person that's selling it, you can ask the right questions, like, if you ever washed it. If a guy tells me he's washed a sleeping bag, I stay away from it, okay? I'll wash it, but most people don't know how to wash a sleeping bag. They end up messing it up, okay? That'll be another video. Let me see what kind of time we got here. What do we got? 11. Okay. So I can edit my own videos now, so I can actually shut this off in a couple of minutes and then pick it up again. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'll talk for a couple more minutes. This bag weighs in at about 3 pounds, but it's a 0 degree bag, okay? That's pretty good for a sleeping bag. 0 degrees, 3 pounds, and I got a stink bug in here flying around in my bedroom. Ooh, I know I killed him that time. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, yeah, he's dead. So all nylon construction, 750 fill power down. Got like a trapezoidal overlapping, you know, with the down inside. It makes it really warm, keeps cold spots from happening. It's got a generous hood. It's got a nice fat draft collar on top and bottom. So here's the draft collar for the top, and then around your neck, right? And this particular bag, I can get in it and zipper it all the way up, but I feel confined. So what I do with this bag normally is I'll zipper it down about 3/4 of the way. And since I can get down, right, this, you can shift the down in this bag too, from top to bottom, bottom to top, just by pushing it out of the baffles, right? So what I do is I get the same amount of down on both sides of the bag, and I use it like a quilt, right? Like a sleeping quilt, that you just put your feet in the foot box, and then the rest of it you tuck underneath of you, and it works great. That way, big people like me, you know, big barrel-chested freedom fighters, can get in it and still be warm, right? This is a very warm bag. I've slept in it in -10 degree weather with no problem, all right? So there's the Western Mountaineering. It's called, what the hell is the name of this thing? I forget. It's the Badger or the Bison. I can't remember. I'll try to put it in the note, in a note. All right. So there's that Western Mountaineering. Okay. It's a 0 degree bag. So whatever one they have that's 0 degrees, that's a modified mummy. That's the one you're going to be looking at, and it's gray, right? So before we move to the last bag, which is my warmest bag, and I tell you, if you're in temperatures lower than this bag can handle, you're probably not going to have any fun out there, because that's going to be really cold. This is a -20 degree bag, but before I show that to you, I just want to show you all the gear that I have for backpacking, camping. This whole wall is nothing but gear, right? Both of these bureaus are filled with gear and clothing, sleeping bags, medical kits, a whole bunch of knives, right? The rest of them are in the basement. There's a picture of me on a backpacking trip in 1990. Right there, see it? In the corner there? in the, what, snow, right? The snow. Mountain Hardwear, I got Gore-Tex jackets, I got a gear closet that's got all kinds of sleeping pads and down jackets and wool jackets and Gore-Tex and hydration bladders, all kinds of stuff, okay? So, I've been backpacking all my life. Whoops, there we go. Let me turn this thing around. Damn. Alright, so I've been backpacking all my life, camping all my life, bushcrafting all my life. So, you want to get to the next bag, right? Because this one is something special, okay? Alright, let's look at it. Okay, I pulled out all the stops with this bag, right? This is my deep winter, if you're going to go to Minnesota in the winter bag, right? This is it, okay? It's another 750 fill power down bag made by Marmot Mountain Works, and it's called the Col, the C-O-L, Col. I can't. It's hard to explain, but a col is like a straight mountain. I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult. Anyway, they named it after a mountain or a mountain feature or something. Okay, so same thing with the Western Mountaineering, but this one's beefed up, right? This one has a WL Gore dry loft shell, which basically what you have is you have a Gore-Tex shell on a down bag that keeps it bone dry, right? I mean, I can, like, not pouring rain, but I can go out in the rain and have it rain on this thing and it won't get wet, okay? Now pouring rain will end up getting through the seams and stuff, but to keep this stuff dry, they put a dry loft shell on it. There it is, right there. Gore Dry Loft. See it? It says Gore Dry Loft. Right? Here's all the specs for the bag. This is the Col Dry Loft Long. Okay? So, it's got a generous amount of down in it. This bag weighs about 4 pounds, 7 ounces. It's a minus 20 degree bag, which is really cold, right? I tell you, last year on the Sub-Zero Winter Rendezvous for Yellowhawk Customs Outdoors, I was sleeping in this bag. And it got down to minus 20 at night. I was fine. This thing will take me down to minus 30, right? So, it's got a full-length draft tube, right? Here's the draft tube behind the zipper, right? Both zippers are backed with seam tape, which is inside the actual nylon itself. But both zippers on both sides have an overlapping draft tube, right? To keep any draft coming through that zipper out of it, right? Really warm. Here's the inside of it. It's a black bag. It's got a generous collar that you can adjust, right? And cinch it up so that the hole's only this big. The only thing sticking out is your nose, right? This bag is another bag that I can get in it and zipper it all the way up, but I feel like I'm claustrophobic. You know, I don't like tight spaces. So I use this one like a quilt as well. And I tell you, you'd be surprised, it does work, right? I just get in it, put my foot in the foot box, wrap it around me, and I'm good to go. Then I got all kinds of room to toss and turn, okay? So there it is. This is the Marmot Mountain Works Col. Minus 20 degree down bag. The price on this, brand new, is about 800 bucks. Between 700 and 800 bucks. Okay? give you a little tip about sleeping bags. When you get to camp, lay out your pad and your sleeping bag right away and fill your sleeping bag up with air, right? Like this. Pump it with air so that the insulation fills up with air, and when you get inside of it, it's going to be ready to retain warmth, okay? But if you get in a bag that's all smashed down, it's not ready to retain warmth, and you're not going to be as warm, okay? All right, guys, so where is that? I'll put that thing. Ah, here it is. Before I conclude this video, I want to show you the latest Leather Elite sheath system that I built for a client. Here it is. Give it to you up close. This is that alligator leather over a full KYDEX sheath. Yellow Hawk click. No rattle, no rhythm, no roll. It's got a fine diamond rod on it. A mounting plate that I actually incorporate into the diamond rod holder that'll hold a tech lock or a molly lock right here. So you can put a molly lock on this or a tech lock in 4 different positions. Okay. My most popular position for a tech lock is that 45-degree cross draw. Okay, 45-degree cross draw. The knife sits about like this on your belt. You just fold back the tabby dangler. Just let it sit there. It's no big deal, right? Or you can unscrew it and take it off. Most guys just fold it back. So this is my favorite carry if I'm not wearing a pack. If I am wearing a pack and the knife is big enough, I'll put it on a baldric sling. Or I'll put it on the shoulder strap, right? I'll take the tech lock, I'll put it in vertical position and put it in the shoulder strap like upside down for inverted, okay? So, tabby dangler, got his initials in it. I don't know if you can see that. See if you can see that, the initials. Pretty hard to see, huh? Got the Yellow Hawk logo in 3 different places. Ferro rod holder on the front for a 3/8 Swedish Light My Fire or Army model. This is the BHK, Pathfinder, I think. The Pathfinder knife. BHK Battle Horse. Alright, so there it is. Leather Elite. This one came out real well. I'm using a new industrial adhesive that when I was testing it, I was trying to peel it off the KYDEX. You just can't get it off, right? I couldn't get it off without tearing the leather. So I think I found the adhesive for the leather. All right. The other stuff was real good. This stuff is like bomb-proof. There it is. All right, guys. That concludes our sleeping bag, part 1 of backpacking, camping equipment, right, for winter use. All right, guys, it's Doug Wilson, Yellow Hawk Customs Outdoors. Thanks for watching, and I'll try to do some more of these. I think the next one's probably either going to be sleeping pads or stoves or both in one video. I'll see you guys.